Terrible. You don't really mean that. You think? Which sport?
I've never thought I'd be good at it.
Really?
Yeah. I get too emotionally attached to everything. Like
Yeah.
I'm not. I really. I mean, and this is not like not like being hard on myself. It just is in my nature to like, That's why I'm talking so strongly about Keon Coleman now, because I fell for the summer thing, which was like, look at him, look at this catch, wow, yeah, and his route running is more
Depends on the day.
more intentional. Like he's learned. I bought a bunch of stuff because I wanted it to be true, because the Bills needed it to be true. Whatever, it didn't sink their season or anything. I mean, they still had they won 12 games. But so what makes you do that is you get emotionally attached to things. And I think that's a bad trait for a general manager.
Yeah, that's probably what I would find the hardest part. I need to cut this player, trade him even.
Right.
I don't want to do it.
I know how hard he's worked. Right. I mean, you probably think everybody works hard, but maybe there's guys that you just, you see them there early. Not saying this is Coleman or anything, but whatever. You just grow. You really want it to happen. You want it to work, and that's not. I don't think that's a successful way to run any sports enterprise. So I don't think I'd be good at it, mainly for that reason.
What I was thinking of, though, by asking you this is, like, how public would you be? Earlier, a caller brought up Joe Brady made a comment about Coleman after he got hired, and it was pretty strongly worded that he likes Coleman and that he'll be here. And, this often is one point that fans react to, or even we would, is, well, is it spin? And who is it serving? Is it serving the Bills because really they just want to trade him? Wink, wink. Mm-hmm. He's great. We love him. He's going to be here, and you're just trying to increase his trade value. I said to that, I mean, if my team has a GM who falls for that, he should be fired. Like, I want to be a little bit more of a deep thinker in this job than that. But I think saying that, I mean, I know what my strengths are, and I'd want to be out there. And maybe I'd be somebody that would have a reputation for, when he says it, watch out, Billy Bean or somebody. I'm not Billy Bean, but somebody that would try to be working the room a little bit, rather than just, I mean, any of these guys can do the same job in private. Of course, they're all having conversations all the time about players and ideas. Just because they're not doing it publicly doesn't mean that's not happening. I think I'd have a little bit of an ego at it. I trust myself to be able to word these things kind of properly and maybe even to my advantage, and I'd want to be out there. I wouldn't want to be somebody afraid to talk about my team. I like this about Bean. I don't know if he's spooked by last year. He did plenty of media around that time, and he's done some since.
Yeah, he did a good amount. Enough to say I've referenced this a couple times. And I think it's hard not to be someone who cares about what is being said and written about you. But I think the sooner you get to a point in your life where you don't worry about that, the better. But again, it can be hard, especially when you're younger. You just maybe have a harder time being able to, settle into, I've got this job. I'm comfortable in my own skin. I'm not going to worry about all the stuff over there. And I've got Bean this year in the wake of hiring Joe Brady, F the noise, which I don't know what's the noise? Are we the noise? Are the fans the noise? Like, who are you saying F off to exactly? That's a little off-putting, I would say, myself, considering the circumstances here. But, if he's right, I mean, the point is you're going to like what we do if we win, which, of course, is undeniably true. But
that's always true.
Yeah. I don't know that I'd want to put my name on exactly as harshly as he did talking to Tyler Dunn, that I don't care what you think. You, the paying customer, you, the PSL owner, you, the business that advertises with us, you might want to pump the brakes a little bit until there's some flags flying over there of some kind that aren't just ones with your logo on them. But, okay.
Zing.
So I don't think I'd want to be like that guy, because I think the easiest person to see through in any walk of life is the person that loudly and with swear words thrown in for emphasis needs to tell you how little they care about what anyone else thinks, because that usually, to me, it has often been, in my experience, a tip-off that they are way too consumed by whatever you out there are saying.
See, that's a good one. That's another one that I think a lot of guys get wrong. Because this is a Darcy Regier point I was fond of making when he was here. You absolutely should care about what people are saying. And so should we. So should anybody in sort of a public eye. But that doesn't mean you have to respond to it or take it to mean anything.
But if it's valid, you can take it to heart.
Nobody's beyond reproach here. Like, you should be available. If I were a GM, back to that, I'd want to be somebody that could deal with the scrutiny, the criticism, because there'd be a lot of it always. I mean, how many games have the Bills won with Brandon Beane? But yet, for the last year, he's been, the problem kind of. So, but you still, like Darcy would say stuff like that. He would say, I can't listen to the fans. That's not a direct quote, but he would talk like that.
Yeah.
That he couldn't do it or wouldn't do it. And I never really respected that. I think you have to do it. I think you have to know. And I feel like, to your point, Beane does.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's definitely paying attention to the conversation.
Yeah.
I feel like Brady might too, but I think Beane definitely does. And I don't think that's a bad thing. You should know. And whether that probably shouldn't mean that he'll trade players that fans don't like.
Right.
But it should mean, what are your customers saying about the team, the job you're doing and have done? You'd want to know that. You should have to know that. You should want to know that. As hard as it might be sometimes to listen to, because it can be personal. It can sound personal. It really isn't. But it can sound like they're talking about me, the person.
Yeah.
And that can be hard.
Anything can make you better. Like if you take it in the right, it's not a direct comparison, obviously, because we're just people talking on the radio. But we get our share of crap, but within it, sometimes are things that I will take to heart, and I won't necessarily write back to someone, but I think that's a good point, and I should try to not do that. Or I should try to do this more often, this thing that you might, whatever. Anything can help. It's just a matter of knowing how to not let it consume you and let it sway your performance, your decision-making, your any of it. And I got to tell you, I am as worried about the Bills in this area as I've been since McDermott and Beane first got here. Because it is, look, they could still be great. Brady might work out. They still got Josh Allen. They get a couple of receivers. The offense might be humming, and they might be as good or better than they've been ever through Allen's career so far. That can definitely happen, despite what I'm about to say. But the lack of judgment that they're handling of this entire offseason so far, including Beane telling Tyler Dunne, I don't give a F about the noise. F the noise. Just slow down. Just slow down a little bit. You completely misread the situation with your fan base and McDermott. Completely misread it. To the point where it took Joe Brady a week later, or however long the hiring process took, to actually have someone appear to sincerely thank the guy for 9 years of the best football we've mostly ever experienced without getting to a Super Bowl. I guess I'll have to say it that way. So I'm worried about their ability to avoid the rocks, because I'm not sure they have the right. Their judgment is to be questioned. Pagula's judgment, and I guess I'll include Beane.
Okay.
And that makes me a little worried. But again, it could all work out if they pick a couple of the right players and find a pass rush, and they're going to be off to the races. But I'm worried about that because I think they've missed on some stuff that was easily avoidable.
Hard to miss on.
Yeah.
Yeah, the McDermott point's a good one.
So
especially.
that has me concerned. But again, I don't want that to be the overarching theme of the offseason because again, they don't have to be bad or worse than they've been even just because of that. It just might be a footnote.
Has McDermott spoken yet, other than the statement he made shortly after
I don't
the
believe
news?
So. No,
I missed it if he did.
No, I don't think he has. So. Obviously, he took this hiring cycle off. I mean, he was not attached to any jobs.
What would be the funniest job for him to take next? That's possibly realistic.
Midday radio host here at WGR Sports Radio 550. That would be something.
I mean, it's not like there isn't a there's not.
Let me tell.
It might be open. I don't know.
Let me tell you what's going on over there.
He comes in.
No, right,
oh my God!
That's him.
Full
right?
disclosure.
Right.
Like John Hoynes writes the tell-all book. McDermott comes in and what do you want to know?
Yeah.
I mean, it frees the soul. There are times when my problem, not that you ask me, but when you talk about criticism you get, my favorite subject in life is this show and radio and why it works and what's good, what's bad. It's my favorite thing to talk about. Sometimes I'll be out and somebody will recognize me and ask a great question about, I've always wondered this about you guys or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And I just melt. I love when that happens. My ego is, boosted and I just love the question. The problem is when it's online, 9 out of 10 times it's not in good faith. So the last thing I'm going to do is respond to it because this is not in good faith. It's a criticism and the person might really want to know why it went the way it went, but they're not really asking you. They're just mad. Mm-hmm. And I've got no time for that. Right. But if you meet somebody that you're the same as this, right?
Yeah,
sure. We've been together at these remotes and people come up and ask these questions and we love to talk to people about that. Yeah, but when if I'm McDermott, I'd want to be, what do you want to know? But it's just me and you right here.
Right.
What do you want to know? And if I were he and I trusted the other person, you wouldn't do this unless you trusted them. There's only so far I'll go in these random conversations. Right. But if I trusted you, I would tell you almost anything. Mm-hmm. And I'd want to. It would feel good. This is how it actually is. This is why we punted on that one, or this is why we drafted that player. And I would tell you, it might not be possible for him or somebody in a position like his to ever do that with somebody he's not really tight with.
Right.
His family probably knows why they did certain things and people on his staff. But I don't know. You're not going to get him at Wegmans and have him tell you why they drafted Coleman.
No.
It has to be a little bit more personal than that.
That's right. Yeah, because you're still going to be working within the construct eventually, and you don't want to have the scarlet letter on you of a guy who burned a bridge of any kind, gave away the secrets of any kind. When you're all done, maybe write a book. Right? Maybe it'll get turned into a miniseries or something, or a Netflix documentary. Everybody's got a Netflix documentary now. So, great.
At least a podcast.
When you're working and intend to be working again, you're not, because it's just not how it's done. You don't air that. We probably are never going to hear from him what he thinks went down or what he thinks of how everything went down.
Yeah.
Because it's not a time or a place where that doesn't make him look bad.
Here's Mike with us. Hi, Mike.
Hey, I got a couple things. The first thing is I'm not much of a curler, but I do have an experience that may explain why you can't touch the stone a second time.
Okay, let's hear it.
When you release it. In 1975, this goes back a while, one of my college classmates was a member of the Park Country Club. And he would take me out there on Thursday nights and we'd goof around. And I picked it up pretty quick. And I remember I kept touching the stone when I let go. And Dave would get on my back. And finally, I said, okay. So I changed how I did it. I was not near as accurate. So I don't think it's so much of a thing of influencing the stone as it's a technique issue. It was easier for me to do it when I kept my wrist in a position where I kept bumping the stone. When I had to lift it off and go into ulnar deviation, it created a problem for me. But
I also struggle with ulnar deviation.
What?
Nothing. Go ahead. Sorry, it's just being stupid.
Oh, I'm a physical therapist. Ulnar deviation is a.
I got
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
It's fine. You know, I don't.
Anyhow,
yeah. Go ahead.
let me just add one thing. I ended up being pretty proficient at the game, and one of the guys on their team that was going to the men's seniors national dropped out, and they were desperate, so they took me, and I had just maybe curled maybe a dozen times, and we came in second in New York State in the men's seniors, but they only let me sweep, and they said I was a good sweeper. But that's neither here nor there, but I think it's an issue that you have to hold your hand a certain way to let go of the stone more than just touching it. I don't think that influenced it. But when Dave forced me not to touch it,
Okay.
it was more difficult.
Very good.
Okay, and then the other thing is, let's hold on to Coleman, because when we got him, he had a great rookie camp. Everybody was raving about his catches. And at the time he got hurt, he was way ahead of Xavier stat-wise. And then Poyer put his helmet, his hat on his hand, and he's never been the same. I think that Brady wants to capture lightning in a bottle and see if he can get Coleman back to where he was.
Okay, and my thing here is that he's never been that good. Like, you want to talk about rookie camp hype. Name a year. Tell me who the first-round pick was. Everybody's always in love. Was a questionable prospect. He's had one game in his career that anybody could rave about, and that was in the fourth quarter against Baltimore in that fluky situation in the opener. So I'm not here for he was actually injured narrative and that he hasn't been the same. When was he good? I mean, I don't know. But that doesn't mean he can't ever be good. I just don't think we're talking about a guy that was derailed by injury.
I just think if they have to hang on to him, they better have three better ideas in front of them. That's all.
And I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they think.
Yeah.
I would guess it probably is.
I don't need him off the team, but I need them to not be counting on him to be like somebody who's going to catch 70 passes and 5 touchdowns for them.
Did you know he has exactly one catch in every playoff game the last 2 years?
I did not know that. One in each one.
One in each one. Touchdown against Denver. Third quarter, they were down, 23-10? The field goal before the half. Was that 20-10? Anyway, he caught a touchdown pass 10 yards in the third quarter of the Denver game. He had one big one against Jacksonville on a catch and run.
Right. Yeah.
Then last year, front to back, 1 for 5 against Denver, 1 for 5 against Baltimore, 1 for 12 against Kansas City. I mean, trivia.
Well, you can set your clock to that.
One catch exactly. If he stays and he gets one, that's it. You got to take him out.
It's over.
It's over.
Yeah.
He only gets one.
Right.
He's only allowed one per game.
Don't pick him as your one guy on the Bills in a playoff pool.
Listen to this.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Did we talk about it? I don't know if we did, but I did not get home in those tournaments. And this happens. You don't have to tell me, but it's because Drake May ended up throwing for 295 and 2 in that Super Bowl. Which, what did he have going into the fourth quarter?
They had
no first downs.
78 yards through 3 quarters of that game.
Right.
As a team.
They had no first downs in the second quarter or the third quarter at all.
Yeah.
And so Henderson wasn't hitting, but it wasn't hurting me because May wasn't doing anything. A lot of guys had May.
Yeah.
And Allen would have been the optimal, even though he only played 2 games because the stats were great. But May gets there in the garbage time against Seattle, and that changed the outcome of the tournaments.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, me too. I'm sorry that it's true. I'm sorry that it happened. Garbage time is so much fun when it helps you. and it's so annoying.
yeah.
It's so annoying to lose to
It's
it.
the best.
It is the best. It is the best when it's yours. Chad DeDominicis expected Buffalo on the Olympic hockey tournaments and the Sabres with the trade deadline coming up. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here, WGR.